Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're connecting from. Welcome to Style to Impact Live. It's such a pleasure having you here. If you're watching live, let me know that you're here. If you're watching the replay, then of course, thank you very much for coming back and listening to today's conversation. I really do appreciate seeing your support in the chat, and of course, knowing that these conversations are having an impact on your life as well as your personal style. So, thank you very much for being here. I Before I get into the topic of the day, I always like to have what I call a wellness check in. It's a moment for us to pause and to reflect and to really tap into how we're feeling and identifying what are some tools and resources that we need to show up as our best selves, and what is it that you need to intentionally show up for yourself. So let me know in the chat, like, how are you doing today? I hope your week is going great. And of course, what do you need to intentionally show up for yourself today? For me, I needed a bit of energy, a bit of vibe, a bit of motivation today. And so I was listening to early 2000 R&B, like TLC, Aaliyah. It was absolutely amazing. Definitely got me in the vibe for not only this conversation, but to just do the things that I need to do today, right? So I needed that energy. And so let me know in the chat, like, what is it you need? What is it got you motivated, got you up and about today? If you're new to this space, I'm Salida Roberts. I'm the founder of Style to Impact. And I truly believe that representation is not just you being in the room or having a seat at the table, but it's definitely how you show up. Women that typically work with me come to me when they want to increase their confidence, when they want to learn how to dress their body type, and they want to embrace more of who they are in their personal style and wardrobe, elevate their presence and visibility, and of course, the biggest one of all is to finally feel as confident and fierce on the outside as they do on the inside. So if that's you, let's connect. And so today I wanted to talk about this idea of how your image is an integral part of your brand, right? And I wanted to open the discussion around you becoming your best marketing asset, right? Whenever we think about branding and we think about personal brand, we always think about, oh, if you have a business, then you have a brand. It's like, no, you are a brand, whether or not you're an entrepreneur, you have a side hustle, or you know, uh in a career, like you're making moves in your career, in your business, like you are a brand. And we oftentimes don't look at ourselves that way, right? We look at the knowledge, the expertise that we have, the things that we do every day as what drives our business, what drives the opportunities that we get, what makes us stand out. Like, all of that is great because you do need your expertise, you do need your credibility, you do need all of that as you enter these spaces. But the part of your brand, and if I dare say, the most important part of your brand is you and how you show up in your career and in your business matters, right? It matters when we think about first impression, when we think about perception and how people perceive us. When you enter a space, before you can tell anyone about your credentials, about your expertise, if you're unknown, that person or in that room, they're looking for, I don't call it judgments. I call it, they're looking for similarities to connect with you, to see if you are that person who is going to help them with, providing a solution to their problem, or if you're that person that they need to hire for that role. And so part of the reason why I wanted to have this conversation is because I've been having some interesting client conversations lately. And it's talking about motivating them to work on their image, like one of the things that, interesting client conversation in terms of what's been motivating them to work on their image and stuff, right? That's usually once you get on a call with me, whether or not we're doing a consult or we're doing actual client work, like you've signed on for me to assist you with your image and your style. That's one of the questions that I ask. Like, what is the motivating factor behind you wanting to take this action today? And a couple of them have said, they want to raise their prices in their business, and they want to be seen as a leader because within the company that they're working, they're looking to take on more leadership roles. They're looking to stand out more and expand, be noticed and be recognized for their expertise because they may have felt that, you know, every day they show up at work, yes, they're doing their work, but it doesn't feel as though their presence is being felt. Some women talked about this idea of creating alignment between who they are and how they're showing up, right? And how they want to feel in the clothes that they wear. I often talk about the journey of style. For me, is my framework is like three stages. There is the style stories, the stories that we hold in terms of how we think we should show up, how we need to be perceived in the world to be successful, the narrative that we may have internalized based on our appearance, based on our body type, based on our culture or identity. Those style stories are the things that really keep us stuck from really expressing our authentic self and showing up in a way that feels more confident and more powerful to us. And then the second stage is confidence, which is the alignment between your inner and outer self, where the way you're showing up, the clothes that you're wearing matches how you feel about yourself on the inside and how you want to show up in the world. And then the final stage is impact, right? Where your image now becomes your brand. Like it's on your website. You pay specific attention to how you appear, the images that you put on your website, on your social media, your headshots. You're paying attention to all of that because you have now become a walking billboard for your business. I mean, you are, but when you get to that third stage is when you're going for bigger things. Like you want to be an author, you want to do more uh, promotions, go on, news, television, do television interviews. You're going bigger, right? And that's where you get to that impact stage where you realize that you have to be consistent in how you show up. And so women that I've spoken to lately, it's like they want to have that alignment to get to that second stage, which is the inner and outer self being in alignment. There's some women who wanted to change the perception of how they see themselves and how they were presenting themselves. I had a client who talked about this idea, like when we talked about how, what's her personality, and she used words like fun, exciting, she wants to have a relaxing look. But whenever she's getting dressed and she's going into the workplace, it's like she feels as though she's having this very intense, serious look. And not only is it reflecting in her personality, but it was also reflecting in her wardrobe. And so getting feedback as well from family members, like, oh, your wardrobe and how you appear is not necessarily the person that we know you to be, this fun, carefree, living life bold person. Your wardrobe is a bit conservative, and it's a bit leaning on that side where you just feel as though it's intense. And so we work together in creating her personal style based on who she is, to be able to go into that space, not only looking smart and being the person that she is in terms of her credibility, her expertise, and being able to command a room, but also having some fun and air to it, which is part of her personality. So that's a couple of reasons why, um, based on some conversations that I've been having lately, in terms of, what's been the motivating factor behind women wanting to work on their style and their image right now. And so from that conversation, what I got from it and what my clients got from it and what I'm hoping that you get from it is to answer this question: how are you being perceived in the marketplace? When you think about where you are in your business, where you are in your career right now, how are you being perceived? Is the perception of you one that you want people to have? You want people to know and feel about you and remember about you? Or is your perception in the marketplace does it feel out of alignment, misaligned, right? Because the reason why I want you to reflect on that question, because when you think about being in a sea of sameness where everybody looks the same, and especially now where you may be looking to pivot in your career, you may be looking for new opportunities, and it's important that you stand out. Like, we all cannot show up in this space looking the same. There must be a deciding factor, something about us that really tip us over the edge, that makes us the number one choice, the only choice in whatever is it you're trying to achieve in your business or your career, right? What is that thing that's going to tip you over? Yes, you have the expertise. Yes, everyone vying for that job, that position, that role, that contract has the same expertise. On paper, you're all the same, but what will take you over is your presentation of yourself. How are you showing up? How are you being perceived? How is your credibility and your image matching? Is it in alignment? And because if how you're showing up is not in alignment with your credibility, your expertise, and how you want to be perceived, you might be holding yourself back and you might not even realize that you are. So I want to share with you the three factors that really influences how you show up in your business, how you show up in your career, how you represent yourself, your credibility, your confidence, and what you can do to really make yourself the only choice, the number one choice when it comes to the opportunities that you're looking for. So I'm going to go to the chat here for a second because I see I have a guest. Hi, Sinika. Thank you very much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Such a pleasure always seeing you here. I appreciate your support. So thank you for taking the time to be here with me. Appreciate it. So let's get into what are these three factors. First of all, mindset. What is your mindset around one, investing in yourself, right? I often hear, "Oh, I'm frugal," or I try to manage my money. No, all that's great. I would never encourage anyone to just spend all willy nilly. You have to be very strategic about the investments that you're making. You have to be very strategic about the way you're spending your monies. But if your mindset is that one of where you're thinking, okay, to invest in myself, I can't do that right now, or I am not worthy of investing in myself. That's a mindset that you have to change. That's a mindset that will hold you back from showing up and taking up space and standing out and being able to get the opportunities that you want. The other mindset shift that you need to make is in terms of the limiting beliefs that you have of yourself. Oh, I can't, I'm okay with what I'm doing right now. Oh, I can't put myself out there. Or you're saying things like, "Mm, I'm not quite ready to be visible or to stand out I'm not ready as yet." Even though you're qualified, you have all the qualifications in the world, that limiting belief that you're not quite ready to put yourself out there, you're not worth the investment. That's the first thing that's holding you back. The other part of that mindset component comes into your image, your body image, how you feel about your body type, how you feel about dressing your body right now. There are a lot of, I've had clients who are like, I have a weird body. I was talking to a client last week and we were talking about finding the right shoes, not only for the outfit, but also for your body type. And she was like, oh my gosh, my ankles, my feet, it's so skinny. Like I hate my legs. And I was like, same, same. I have the same issue. Like I've shared this before with my sisters made this joke that I'm walking on my hands because that's how skinny my legs are, right? And I was pretty self conscious about it. Like my client, I was pretty self conscious about it. And one of the things that she was doing as a way of hiding that part of her leg was to wear midi skirts or long dresses because that was a way of hiding that insecurity around that body part that she felt. And I mean, it's not easy when you're having those struggles to just automatically get up and say, okay, yes, I'm going to embrace my body, body confidence, body positivity, and get in the zone. It takes some work. It takes self awareness, first of all, to acknowledge that you are perfect exactly the way you are. Now, if you look at yourself and in your physical state, you don't feel healthy, you often feel tired, exhausted, you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well, and those things are impacting your health, impacting the way you show up in your business, then I highly encourage you to go ahead and, make time to exercise and do what's necessary to get yourself in a healthy state. But do not allow your current body type or body shape to deter you from dressing your best. You are worthy of dressing your best exactly as you are right now. Right? I want you to keep in mind when it comes to these mindset, limiting beliefs, and your body image, the challenges that you're having around that is that nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't decide to say, I am no longer allowing that inner voice to enter my being and control how I show up for myself. I'm no longer going to allow the expectations and the beauty standards of the world to dictate how I show up for myself. Then you have won. You have won, and you're on your way. The second factor that really influences your confidence, credibility, and how you represent yourself in your brand, because you are a brand, is your packaging. I'm going to show you two boxes. This is one, and this is the other one. Looking at these two boxes, which one are you more inclined to? If I was supposed to present it to you and say, choose one, pick a box, which one are you more inclined to choosing? More than likely, you're more inclined to choose this box, right? Presentation of it, pretty nice, as opposed to this box. But here's the thing. The value, and this is where going through the process of understanding that your credibility and the way you show up and paying attention to how you present yourself does not decrease your value, it increases your value, if anything. These two boxes, in terms of packaging, looks completely different. But the value of the item that's in the box could be the same, right? It's absolutely the same. But the packaging is what's going to attract a buyer or the opportunity to you. So in this case, based on the packaging, you may be inclined, you may be inclined to be more attracted more inclined to say, okay, I want this one. Even though the value of both is the same, but the packaging is what makes a difference. And just going on, like, indulge me with this. I thought about how I'm going to really bring this point of packaging to life, where I talk about why it's important for you to dress the way that you want to, the message, based on the message that you want to communicate, based on how you want to show up. I thought about, obviously as a prop, it's like, think about it. Just going even further and deeper into this analogy here. Whenever you're thinking about getting someone a gift, right? You thought about, you're going to get your best friend who's getting married, you're going to get her a diamond necklace. When you go to the jewelry store and you say, okay, you like that one's perfect, and you purchase it. Now, the jeweler can just give it to you in your hand and you walk out the store, you go, you meet your, meet up with your friend and you just hand it to her, right? It's like, yeah, here you go. Great. But what happens? What creates that interest and bring that package to give more meaning to that gift is you purchase it, the jeweler put it in a box, and we all know about it, like the Tiffany blue box. You get one of those, and it's like, oh my gosh, yes! Like, you have no idea what's in it, but just getting the sight of getting the box is like, yes, this is just awesome. So the jeweler puts it in that box and give it to you. Now, you don't take the box as is and just give it to your friend, right? You're thinking, okay, do I want to gift wrap it? What type of gift wrap paper do I want to use? Do I want to put a bow on it? Do I want to put like streamers on it? What color do I want to use? Do I want to put a note? And that is all. When you think about style and you think about when you're getting dressed and you're putting together your look to present yourself into the rooms that you're seeking those opportunities, is how you accessorize yourself. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Yes, I've talked about it in terms of a gift and how you package a gift to present it, to make it more interesting, more appealing, and more enjoyable for the person that you're giving it to. Now, I want to show you what that looks like in terms of your personal style. As someone who is highly visual, I really share, like, I enjoy sharing. I understand that, talking about something, it's, yeah, you get it, but when you see it in action is when it really becomes crystal clear, like, oh, this is what you mean by that. So this is what I mean by that second factor that really influences your credibility and how you present yourself and how you show up in your brand, where you're maximizing your image to stand out and get those opportunities, is where your style becomes your packaging. How you put together your looks, how you're getting dressed, makes a difference. Looking at these two images, it's the same woman. Her expertise is the same. Her credibility is the same. Her confidence could be the same in both images, but which of these two images says, hire me? I am the expert. I'm the thought leader. I'm the speaker. I'm the person that you need for this opportunity. Which one influences your decision making? Which one is going to make you go, kind of like the way she dresses? And this is what I mean by your style is your packaging. You're dressing yourself in a way that makes you stand out from the sea of sameness. It makes you create a conversation. It creates a conversation around you, a conversation of, obviously, that's positive and impactful. And this is how you are able to get those options. This is how you're able to stand out. It's just like your expertise, and you're coming up with frameworks, and you're coming up with your way of doing certain things makes you an expert and makes you different. The way you present yourself, how you package yourself, the clothing that you wear, how you put together these looks, is what also helps you to stand out. And this is something that I work with my clients with, and every stage of their style, and more so specifically for those clients who are like, okay, I'm in this stage where I was wearing the black and white uniform. I was, straight laced, very conservative, trying to fit in. But I'm in that space where I really want to stand out. I really want to bring my personality. I really want to understand how to dress my body type and really increase my confidence. And so we work on, during this service, it's called the Style Starter Experience, which we work on all of these things and making sure that your package stand the test of time and you are showing up the way that allows you to create that impact and influence. Now, the third factor that really influences your credibility, confidence, how you represent yourself, and what allows you to stand out in the sea of sameness is your presence. It's your presence. Your brand, whether online or in person, needs to be in alignment. What that means is you have to take your presence online and in person, you have to audit your brand. Look at your headshots on social media, on your website, on your media kit. Is your current headshot reflecting the person that when you look in the mirror, is it reflecting that person? Or when you put your headshot, your current headshot next to you in this current stage, would someone look at it and be like, oh, you don't look like the same person? Is there a conflict? So you want to go through and edit your brand. Bring your brand up to date based on who you are right now. And that includes the images that you have across social media, on media kits, on promotional items, every single thing you need to update your images. Now, something that I've seen is that it's a trend right now. Everybody's talking about AI, everybody's talking about Chat GPT and all the tools that you can generate images with. Something that I'm seeing a trend is the AI generated headshots. Now, I've seen a couple of them and it's like, oh, really nice. But here's the thing about AI generated headshots, at least from my perspective, it does not feel authentic to you, right? The software is, yes, you're plugging in your images and then it's polishing the images to based on all the information that we're fed it and then spitting that out and hopes that your headshot really does reflect you. And so I really want to caution anyone that's thinking that is a great way of replacing, like going and get your headshot professionally done, that you should get it AI generated. No, 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 and no. It doesn't feel authentic to you. When I look at it and I can see, because you can see the difference between a professional headshot and an AI generated headshot, your credibility may come into question because you can simply take your phone, like this device that you pay thousands of dollars for, and you put yourself against a nice wall, put it on a tripod, and you bring your personality to your headshot. Let your personality shine. Because the same way we are looking at brands who are using AI tools to generate diversity models, and we're questioning their values, we're questioning their credibility, we're questioning, like, really? So instead of hiring a plus size model or hiring a woman of color or to really represent your brand, you're going to use technology to create that. And we question that. And so this is why I want to caution you when it comes to the images of yourself. to not be so inclined to use the AI generated version of it, because your brand, your image needs to reflect who you are. It needs to reflect who you are. And so when you think about your image as your brand, I really want you to think about it in this context. Your mindset will affect your packaging. If you don't feel confident, if you don't feel that you're worthy of investing in yourself and showing up and being visible, it's going to affect how you dress, what type of clothing you wear, how you put together your looks. What do you wear to show up for yourself? And if you're not packaging yourself the right way, then it's going to affect your presence. Whether or not that's online, when you show up on camera, you may turn off your camera because it's like, oh, my hair's not combed today, or, I don't have the right clothing to show up. Or you may go in person and always feel uncomfortable because you may not or uncertain as to how to show up in that space because you don't know what to wear and when to wear it. And if you're really projecting the image that you want to project based on your expertise and credibility and impact and influence that you're looking to make. And all of that will affect your price. Your price being, if you don't feel confident, your mindset is lacking, like you're in that limiting belief, you're in that body image shame and guilt, and you lack confidence, you're not wearing the right clothes to fit your body type, you don't feel great in it, and your online and in-person presence is not great, you're not going to be inclined to negotiate a higher salary. You're not going to be inclined to raise your rates, even though everyone around you is telling you you need to raise your rates. There's always going to be that voice, I can't raise my rate because I'm not quite projecting the image that requires that shows that I'm that's my value, right? That's going to be it. So your image is your brand, and it's important that you make it authentic to you, memorable, and it should reflect you. It should reflect you. Part of your personal style, part of your packaging is to bring your personality, let your personality shine through. My job as a personal stylist to help you define your personal style, help you to really understand how to dress your body type so that you know going into your closet, okay, these are some of the things that don't really align with my body type, don't really align with my personal style. And of course, knowing what are some of those pieces that you need to put in your closet to help you build your confidence, to help you stand out in the rooms for the opportunities that you're looking for. If you're on that journey where your personal style is not in alignment, is not incongruent with how you want to show up in your brand and the message that you want to communicate, then I want to invite you to sign up for the Style Starter Experience. This is what I call where we jump start your style. You get all the tools that you need from a clear understanding as to what your personal style is so that it can translate around all your lifestyle. It's not just for work, but your personal style defined for you. So whether or not you're going into a professional setting or you're going into your personal setting, you always feel confident knowing that you're showing up as your best self. You have a clear understanding, as I said, as to how to dress your body type. What are some of the pieces that you need to wear to really help you stand out? What does your personal style look like? So if you're on that journey of, yes, I need to show up more my brand, I'm tired of wasting money, time, and energy, not having an aligned style, then I invite you to sign up for a Style Starter Experience. I'm going to put the link in the chat here on LinkedIn. So if you're watching me on YouTube or you're watching me on Twitter, I'm going to add the link on Twitter as well. And if you have any questions as well, it's okay, Solita, I want to sign up for it. Maybe you have a question in terms of whatever questions you have, you can also DM me here on LinkedIn. So thank you very much for joining. If we haven't connected as yet, then definitely hit that follow button here on LinkedIn. Follow me, send me a message, let me know what you thought about today's conversation. And of course, if you're ready to get your style on track, to sign up for a style starter experience. Until next time, remember that representation is not just you being in the room or having a seat at the table, but it's also how you show up. Have a wonderful day and continue to enjoy your week. Take care.